Hi everyone, thank you very much for coming back to my studio. And in this video, I'd like to share with you how to draw a front facade of a classical architecture, which I recently visited a building in Kettering, one of the small town in England. This is a great listed building, and the name of this building is the Arford East Gallery. Look, let's come closer. The Tuscan columns look so identical to Doric. Real material, no rendered, no paint. With the rustications, more of the ornamental features, isn't it? Looks majestic. And the building is based on the classical architecture, with symmetrical facade, Doric column or Tuscan columns. I like this kind of piece of architecture above all, and this building is, I would say, the grand jewel of that small town, because not much really going on apart from the center of a volleyball center, England, there. So I recently visited that and explored the site. Didn't have a chance to explore the inside of the building because it was closed on Sunday. However, I took the video, pictures, and to understand further of the building. Instead of drawing on site in situ like most artists do, I'd rather draw them in the studio, because this building were built based on the geometry method in terms of structure, spatial design, and the facade of it, the pattern of it, all based on use the kind of a geometry architecture design. So I believe that to understand this drawing, true drawing, I have to use the same method using geometrical drawing in terms of proportion, the ratio, to achieve the close proximity to the actual building. But I'm not drawing the entire building. I'm going to draw this the grand entry of the front entrance doors, which is the rustication, the columns, all that what made classical architecture is so elegant and beautiful. So please do watch the previous videos so you can understand the context of these buildings. And this drawing is going to be too long, and I don't like to cut them too much, and I like to share the method, all of the techniques, and therefore I separate in three different series, three different videos, so it's not too long but at the same time not missing any. So I hope you click the subscribe button because before we move further. Thank you. Thank you for coming back. Return to drawing after a while break from drawings. And to understand the building through drawing is not necessarily to draw on site, be able to draw the exact building and exact views from the exact location. I'm not here to copy what the building is. I'm here to draw this building to understand further, and through drawings. This is the Arford East Gallery in Kettering, and I'm going to take part of this significant features part of this building, which is the main entrance, and with the rustication entrance door and the iconic Tuscan or Doric columns, twin columns, to understand this drawing by true drawing. The only way to draw to understand this building is through the exact way how it was designed, basically using geometry design method instead of mathematical calculation as the modern architecture today. This building was built out of by architect at the time and master builders at the time, using geometry, understanding in terms of structure and spatial design, and of course, classical features. So the way forward to understand this, I'm going to do exactly the same thing using method of geometry to figure out the proportions, the ratio of this building by starting creating this simple rectangular shape, and to find the center point by drawing two cross lines in order to divide them to three sections. From my understanding, based on the visit at the building, there were 6 row of rustications. So using that method, based on to start with as the beginning of this drawing, by looking at the features on the building, and to begin with, I then divide them into 3 first to make it easier. Then from 3 I divide them into 6. From 6 again divide into half to achieve 12 row of this rustication. So this is the beginning of my drawing. It is to identify the proportion first before move into further detail of this facade. So now that I've drawn these 12 lines of row, this row of this rustication, based on the observation, the opening doors, the width of the opening door is equal to 3 row of this rustication fashion facade. That gives me the width. I mean the width of the outline of this opening door, from each side, from the outline to inside and outline, and on both sides, left and right. That leaves the gap in between as the opening door. Now, in order to achieve the semicircular arch on this opening, then I find the center point of this opening door using the same method, and roughly drawing the semicircular shape. And the next is to offset the outline of the arch, and the size of that should be half. Offset half size based on the half size of the rusticated stonework, as this, and of course projected it or stretch it all the way to the bottom. And this is the profile outline of this opening door to begin with, as this. Not perfect at the moment, but this line will be adjusted as it goes along. So the next one is the base pedestal of these Tuscan columns. Again, how I divide the location of this column is again based on how this geometry works. It has a starting point, the square, and divided this rusticated stone works, and using the same size to divide another. And the size of this bottom of this column is similar size in the diameter of this column is similar size to the stonework. The stonework is flat, this column is round. But naturally, as it goes above, this column is become smaller. But the size is based on the bottom of the column. Tuscany is sitting around about 7 rows in the proportion. The ratio of the width to the height has a certain proportion, around about 8. So you can count it from the size of this stonework. Now, I'm going to move into the detail of this, the division between the square door opening and the arch above it. Again, the reason why it is arch form is because the traditional architecture at the time, there was no reinforced concrete lintel or steel lintel to create a straight line, horizontal line. So the only way for the structure to support the weight above is using this arch form structure, using geometry again to figure it out in the old method. So I'm applying the same techniques using geometry drawing to achieve this geometry building in drawing. So the same method, the arches through drawing having this sort of a imaginary central point, dot point. So each line of this stone will be pointing on the arches, will be pointing to the center of the line. That directly creating the pattern, the features of this rustication facade. Just bearing in mind, in the olden days, the Roman architecture, ancient architecture, these rustication were purely structure, load bearing, but these kind of architecture were, as what you see is what you get. It's the structure, it's the features, all at once. But the term neo-classical architecture, which we see many of them in England, the thing that were built in the 1800s, as this building, the Albert is in Kettering, although it is using the same method in terms of geometry, configuration, so architecture, design, construction, this rustication is actually classical features, not entirely structure. But it has been adapted the olden days classical traditional architecture that were made not just the architecture features, but actually structure. So anyway, now I'm figuring out this the detail of this column while resting on the pedestal. This is just the roughly detail of the base. The base of this column, the collet base connected to the pedestal below. It has particular shape if you look closer, and it has certain kind of detail. Maybe we can. I will look into that for the next video, maybe in close detail how it was, how this column actually properly or made. It's like around there. course, this for now is just more of a line drawing, profiling line drawing. And with too much detail for this drawing, small drawing also is not going to be seen. Right, this is the base, the pedestal where this column are rested on, connected to the ground. The thing is, what makes classical or traditional architecture is classical architecture is because it's not only made of constructed or designed or built out of using geometry method, but it is also the reality is a very simple form of structure, cubic shape. But with these fundamental features, columns, rustication, arches, all those are fanciful on the outside and inside, like such as cornices, material that is made of hamstone as this cover is, and as opposed to the modern architecture. To achieve modern architecture, simply using the same method, you can use the geometry design method, but with the absence of the substantial amount of fundamental features. Take those away, just plain rendered building or square shape, rectangle. These the minimalistic in a way. That what made modern architecture different to traditional architecture. Simply taken away all of those fundamental features from the old building. Simple building, open space, no fancy things, just a straight line. That what makes modern architecture is so different to what classical architecture is. Anyway, now I'm moving to the bottom piece. So, as again, for now, a lot of line, the straight line, curvy line. So now working on the line on the shaft, they call it the shaft, column shaft. The three main component of this column is the base, shaft, and above on the top of the column, they call it the capital. So now I'm going to add the detail in between these, in the middle of this arch. Basically the most important part of this arch is the one single stone in between. It has to be right in the center, but of course most buildings like to accentuate that detail by extruding detail of this middle arch with such a iconic or fanciful features, ornamental features of it. And now I'm going to put a bit of detail on the capital. This is now decided the capital of the column. Connected on the another feature above to hold the weight above it. Anyway, to be continued on the next videos. Please click subscribe, like and share. See you in the next video. Thank you.